Today we doing the making of Max B's Why You Do That, produced by us, Arkatech Beatz. It's your main man, Juggernaut. Shout out to my partner, Mike Trauma D. Let's go.
Why you do that? I should have shown you, baby. That was big and Philly, not Charlie, baby. Why you do that?
What's up, everybody? With the news of Max B coming home later on in the year. He has an official release date of November 9th of 2025. I wanted to go over one of his most legendary records that we produce, Why You Do That. It is a street classic. The people love this record. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to break down this beat, how we sampled it, what we sampled, and basically show you how we put it together. So stick around. I'm going to show you my MPC, and we're going to jump into this right now. This beat was originally produced in an MPC 2000 XL. So what I did is I took the stems and we actually imported it into the MPC X SE so that we could just kind of go through the rebuilding of the beat. So what's happening in this is like this. We initially started this record off with a sample from the group Pleasure. I'm gonna put it on the screen. The song is called Farewell, Goodbye, or something like that. And take a listen to how the original sample goes, and then we're gonna go from there. So you hear how that's you hear how that's going, and basically it's just a killer sample with bass, a little bit of drum fills, the string line. And for those who follow us, who have been following us on our journey through this production thing, you know that Mike and we like to find the samples, or we like to do music that's exciting, that's cinematic. Like, that has always been like the main thing for us, is to create stuff that has been cinematic. So you hear how that string is going. So what we did with that is we took it, we sped it up, and you're gonna get this when you speed it up a little bit by a few semitones, and you get this. All right, so it's looped to give us the main Max B loop. And now we let it play out for the second part. Right? So you see how that's going. In the original MPC, I had that sample kind of split and chopped up so that you can trigger it separately, but just for the sake of this illustration, you can kind of see where we're going with that. And the rest of this, you have the rest of the kit, right? My snare, my hats, open hat. You know, there's a shaker in this. There's a lot of crashes in this.
Arkatech Beatz
Tag, of course. And then we got our kick drum in this thing like that. So you kind of get an idea. Right, so you kind of hear where it's going. So I'm gonna break down the rest of the track so you can kind of hear it. Again, like I said, we've imported the stems on this, so just bear with us on that. So I'm gonna mute everything so that you can kind of just hear where we went with it. Initially, we started with the sample and the hat. Right. So I bought the hats in. So we had to trigger the hats so that it can go over the percussion that's already in the sample. You can hear it in there. You already hear the. So because this is before stem separation and all that other good stuff, we had to either EQ some of these elements out when we're doing the original record, or we have to kind of overwrite those things, right? So the way that we try to overwrite it is we try to mimic what's going on inside of the it's out of the original sample so that it kind of goes and it kind of keeps the rhythmic pace, right? So if you notice what happens on our hat and our open hat, and then I'm going to bring in one other piece of the percussion, which would be the crash. And what this helps to do is this helps to keep it moving, and also helps to kind of make it feel like it's part of the original sample, even though it's not part of the original sample. It's just something that we like to do. All right. So we also added in a shaker. Right, and it's just to keep it's just to kind of keep the beat moving. All right, so now we're gonna bring in the snare so you can kind of hear how that's all kind of incorporated in it. And it's very important again, and I think in the previous video I've said this: your drums. You have to make sure that your drums are gonna complement the sample. That's the first thing. A lot of times people like to use signature drums, Neptunes, etc. You know, that's just the way that some guys, you know, do their stuff so that they can make sure that you know who they are based on their drums, right? So Just Blaze, maybe Swiss, you know, guys like that. For us, we kind of like to use different sounds to just complement whatever the sample is going on with, and to just make sure that it's still kind of feels as much as part of the sample, but kind of feels like it's going to be hip hop at the same time. So, so take a listen to it now, right? And then when we have the switch up, we want it to kind of build up. Right? So now you see how that's going. So now I'm going to bring in the kick. And again, the way that this kick was programmed, and I know it's going to sound crazy, is that this kick was really programmed to kind of, again, kind of to hide the already, the percussion that's already in the sample that we didn't want to, we didn't want to filter it out. We wanted to leave it there because it has a bass line in it, and by taking out the elements or trying to EQ the elements of those things out, then it was going to take away from the record. So we left those things in, and then, you know, this is what we came with, and we tried to make it so that on every fourth bar we get something that was that made the beat kind of you know, take the beat up a notch and kind of let you know that something else was coming, either the hook or so forth, or the end of the verse, you know what I mean? Or the end of a part of the verse. So check it out now. And really, that is the max beat while you do that. That's what we did to make this track. There's really not a lot of tracks in it. And for those who don't know the story of how Max even got the record, initially this record was supposed to go to Jim Jones. It was part of a Beatz CD that we had given to Jim Jones. Mike was supposed to meet him downtown. Jimmy was running late to the studio. He winds up giving the CD to Max. And then before you know it now, we have this record, and this record is it's genius, you know. Shout out to Max B. You know, we've been in contact with him while he's been incarcerated. We've been waiting for him to come home. We've actually worked on some music waiting for him to come home. We've also worked on some music while he was incarcerated. So, you know, once he gets back out, you know, we're going to definitely try to reconnect and make sure that we can bless him with some more classics. But until next time, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys are commenting, and subscribing. Until next time, peace out, y'all.